Yo, what's up, guys? This is Donald, aka D-Bot, and you are listening to the West Box Score podcast. Thank you so much for listening and downloading our show today. We got a great episode for you guys today. Gonna talk some MLS, some LA Galaxy, some LAFC that happened over the weekend, and we're gonna go into a little bit of NBA talk, especially since the finals. Sonny was eager to talk about it, especially since the Bucks were his pick to win it all. And then we did a bit of a review of Space Jam. I don't know if we would say a little bit. I don't know if I would call it a little bit. We did a review of Space Jam, kind of our thoughts on it. Anyways, before we get to that, I just want to ask you guys to please follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We are at the West Box Score. Tag and screenshot that you're listening to us, man. We love to repost stuff. We love to kind of get to know you more, get to like hang out and, just chop it up. Kind of let us know, hey, man, really love what you guys are doing. Really love what you guys stand for and keep it up. We're here for the whole West Coast. And follow Sonny, Hermano. He's at the Fox Crate podcast along with Primo Rick. They are a show about music. It's about vinyl collecting. These guys are vinyl crate diggers. It was record store this weekend. I got to go and bought some records, really because the Fox Crate podcast encourages that kind of stuff. They encourage that kind of behavior, and they got it out of me. So I got some records. So shout out to Primo Rick. Shout out to Sonny, Hermano. Check them out at the Fox Crate podcast. It's a really good one. Also, we got an ever-growing Discord group. Shout out to Big Money Matt Paz, Brian Flores, Parker McDaniels, JV Ortiz, Rick Esparza, Billy Delgado, Pablo Cabrera, a.k.a. Clipper Pablo, and Sonny Hermano should be joining us soon. He wants a pop when he goes in there. So that's what he told me. He's like, I want to jump in, but I want to hear a pop like it's WrestleMania. So if you want that kind of pop too, join our Discord. We're going to put that link. The invite link will be in our show notes. So check out that Discord. You get to hang out with us, get to chop it up with us, get to talk about stuff, to get your thoughts on what you think of what we're talking about as well. We love to hear your thoughts. We're going to get a score sessions up real soon, which is basically a live chat room, live audio room where we're going to be able to just kind of talk about what's happening, talk about what's going on. I know the Dodgers are playing right now. The Angels are playing right now. Get some baseball in. Basketball is about to wrap up. MLS is about to go into the All-Star break. Just a lot we could be discussing if you joined our Discord group. These are the kind of conversations we're having. So, check us out at Discord. And finally, check out Sailor's Brew Coffee, man. Sailor's Brew Coffee, man, they are supporters of the show. It's a place where motivation meets coffee. It's a local roastery here in Pasadena, California, focused on single-origin Ethiopian coffees and luxury coffees such as Jamaica Blue Mountain. They stand for positive motivation and are advocates for appreciating and experiencing coffee for how it's meant to be, with no additives. This allows you to taste the coffee for what it is, without outside and artificial influence. Sailors Brew Coffee, helping you sail through the day storm. Safe sails, everyone. Our listeners get 10% off their first order using our code WBS10. That's West Box Score 10, WBS10. We also have an affiliate link. Please click that link because it helps us out and get you some quality caffeine. Shout out to Trayvon. Shout out to JV, who also helped us out with this partnership. And yeah, check out Sailor's Brew Coffee, man. It's some good stuff. Well, I've talked enough. It's time to get to the show. Yo, Sonny, man.
What's up, Doc? What's up, D-Bot? Sorry, I got Space Jam on the mind.
Oh, shoot. Did you watch it or no?
I did watch it.
Okay, awesome. Well,
2 hours I can't get back in my life.
Oh, come on, man. It's for the kids. It's for the kids, man.
Hey, look, I'm a kid at heart, man. I never stop, believing. But yeah, we'll get into that later when we talk NBA hoops in a little bit.
Hoops and Space Jam 2 recap. I know some people were looking forward to that. I think they loved our Mortal Kombat one. So they're like, man, I want to hear what you guys have to say about Space Jam. But anyways, you were at the bank yesterday, obviously as a season ticket holder for LAFC. Obviously, a lot of stuff has been happening in soccer world. A lot of it wrapped up already with the Euros and the Copa America. We finally saw Messi get one, which is cool.
Shout out to the God.
Yeah, right. That was awesome, dude. I loved it. And, Italy brought it to Rome, so that was good too. But LAFC, they took on RSL. Yep. And I know I sent a text about Bobby Wood, which was funny because I did not realize that until after the fact. I was like, wait a minute, that's Bobby Wood. And then you were at the game, man. So how did that feel being there?
It was cool, man. It was cool to be back. Like you said, the last month or so of just international soccer and watching it on TV pretty much, whether it was Copa America or the Euro Cup. and MLS kind of. I mean, there was a 2-week hiatus for MLS.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was good to have it back, and just having come off of that high of football
Yeah.
to like seeing it in person was nice.
Yeah.
Like just like, this I love this fucking sport, man.
Yeah, man.
And I took a buddy with my shout out to my boy Big, who's actually an OG Galaxy fan.
Oh, okay.
OG
Nice.
Galaxy fan. He's a season ticket holder, and he had never been to the bank.
Oh, okay.
So this is a homie from way back, and I had promised him. As you know on this podcast, it looks like I've promised like multiple dudes or people.
I feel like your season tickets, like the second seat, which is the one next to you, is probably like taken up by a different person for the rest of the season.
A different person every time. The people to my left and the people to my right, they're all great people, and they're always like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And it's like I got like a new rotating. My wife's the most consistent person, obviously, but outside of that, like I'm always bringing somebody new to the game. Man. So anyways, it was cool. It was cool to be there, and his first time at the bank.
Nice.
And yeah, man, we watched it. It was a great game. It was kind of frustrating in the first half.
Yeah.
LAFC should have won that game about 5-1.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
But they skated by, I should say, with a 2-1 victory.
Yeah.
And it was funny because you were as you do, the algorithm was strong, and you were texting the group chat with updates on what was going on with the LA Galaxy game and then what was going on with the LAFC game. This was before you've realized that I was there, because then I sent a photo of the game.
Yeah.
And you were on some spicy stuff. You were like, "Oh, but this ain't 2019 Vela," after he got his PK blocked. And I was like, there goes D-Bot. Just throwing some salt on the wound right there.
Oh, man. Yeah. But that goal was nice.
Shout out to that RSL keeper, actually. I didn't think it was Vela missing, or being off the mark. I thought the keeper read it perfectly.
Oh, he did.
So,
he did. Because, I mean, it went to a corner kick. And, usually that only happens when the goalie guesses it right and he pops it back out for it to go back. So that was cool, though. But, yeah, shout out to that goalie, man.
Yeah, man. And, so it was fun though, man. It was good times. It was good to get back in the win column. Again, there's been all this chatter, on the side about Bob Bradley and all this. And like I said before, man, it's a long season. Like let's hit the panic button if we're really, at the bottom of the table, like, I don't know, like a Vancouver, or some squad like that, which even if you're at the bottom of the table, apparently you can still hang with the folks at the top of the table.
Man, we're gonna get to that one. We'll get into that. I have thoughts. I have thoughts. But yeah, man. So I see here Diego Rossi on the 10th minute, Carlos Vela 79th minute. That was a really nice goal by Vela. That tight little window, assisted by Moon, which I was like, dude, I've seen that guy when he came in and just kind of became the spark that LAFC needed. And it's insane seeing him play, bro. Like, I think it's so... I can't imagine what it's like to see him live, but he seems like a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, man. Moon... I remember when Alex and I were recapping way back when we were previewing the start of the season, and Moon being our one of our new signings. Yeah. And I was low-key excited then, man, because that dude, has... what I call are heady soccer players, meaning players that just know the game. You can tell like they're on another level mentally, aside from physically. And this dude was that, and he's proven it. I mean, he was injured to start, so he actually made his debut. I think it was the Trafico was the first time he came on as a sub. In that game, because he had been injured prior to that. So it feels like now he's finally settling in. Knows his role with the team, and he's given Bob Bradley, to his credit, has given him kind of the keys to kind of go up and down.
Yeah, he noticed that.
Danny Alves or a right back like a Winston, like a Sergino Dest, for Barcelona,
Alfonso Davies,
how he does, he'll bomb down. And that's what he's doing for us, man. And he's connecting with Vela, he's connecting with Rossi, he's beating these other defenders if he was a forward, dude. It's amazing.
His crosses are so nice, man. It's probably the most accurate I've seen on that squad. It's like, dang, like it's amazing. But yeah, that dude probably was the spark that was needed. I remember listening to a lot of LAFC Twitter as I do, and a lot of them were a little frustrated with the team early on, I think prior to him coming in, and then once they saw what he could do, they were like, okay, like there's definitely something here, which I think was great because that was needed. for the squad.
You need to get off that LAFC Twitter bullshit, man, because like those people, that's just panic machines. Like, and I've just learned this with fan bases, period. Like anything team Twitter is a panic machine. So fuck that shit. Like, that's like people who don't really watch the game like that they're just like watching in the moment, but not big picture.
I think being at the bank probably might be a different experience. Because I know when you're watching the game, you go by whatever the announcers say. Like they kind of influence what you think is happening as well. Like you see what's happening, but then the announcers kind of add to it. Or subtract it, really. So definitely, I think that's one of the pluses of being at the game live. I think I would say that, especially for soccer, because it's so live there. So, man. But I think that what he's doing is great. I think, you're starting to see a lot of these guys come up. Blessing, I think, for me, has been another dude. I was like, yo, like this dude's starting to add a lot more to the team that I, for a minute, was thinking, man, they got to move on from him, especially towards the end of last season.
Nah, man. The team, this is the thing, though. This is what I'm saying. And that's why when you were in the group text saying, this ain't 2019, I was like, wait a minute, hold up. This dude legit was creating again like he normally does. He wasn't finishing yet, but we don't need him to be 2019 Vela until October, November.
That's true.
You know what I mean? He just needs to warm back up and get acclimated with this new squad, with players like Moon, with link back up with Blessing, link back up with Rossi. I mean, Corey Baird is coming off the bench.
I saw that. I did notice that.
At least he did in this game. But that's another player that Vela needs to incorporate. And the big thing for Vela is he just needs to keep playing.
Yeah, especially because he came back from being hurt in the beginning of the season. And I think that, I'm aware of all the stuff that's happening. I like to antagonize you on the group chat, but like, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, of course, like, I think he's getting a feel for it. It kind of reminds me of the Patriots where like they'll mess around in the beginning of the season, but somewhere in the middle of the season, they kind of just come together. And then before you know it, they're in the playoffs and people kind of counted them out early, Yeah,
exactly. I think the Patriots is a good analogy, except it's a bad analogy because we haven't won a title yet, like the Patriots. but I get what you're saying. Yeah. And I do think, it's just, again, this whole Bob. I will say this about the Bob Bradley Heat.
Yeah.
He is on the hot seat in the sense that if LAFC does not even make it to the final, let alone win the whole thing, I do think it's time to explore a new voice, right? Because this team has the talent to be, they are frankly the most talented team in MLS. They just don't put it together.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for coaches, I feel like they're the most, it's the most thankless job in all of sports.
Yeah.
And it's the easiest one to say, like, that's the problem. Let's replace that part of the equation, right? Because you have so much money committed to these players.
That's true.
And it's, it's tricky. That I think head coaches, really, it should be general managers. They'd be like, no, you need to go.
Like, I do have another question about the roster. So what's going on with Brian Rodriguez? I'm seeing a lot of stuff online.
Here's the thing. I thought Brian Rodriguez was as good as gone. I know we had loaned him out officially to the second division of La Liga. I forget, Almeria, I think was the team. I forget the name of the squad. But I knew they had loaned him out, but pretty much the idea was he was gone. Like there was no way he was going to come back because I think there was a clause in his contract that if that team got promoted to the first division, it would activate his clause and they would own him outright. However, that team did not make it to the first division. So that's what kind of opened the door back up for him to possibly return to LAFC.
Okay.
And I think that's what the discussion is right now.
Okay. Because I hear that like, again, this is just from my feet, from what I read online. Shout out LAFC Hawaii and LAFC Uruguay. That's the name of the users that are very loud. But something about like he I don't know if this is a personality thing. I've never seen him, but I heard something about like he comes off like he's a little bit above the MLS, but I don't know. I find that kind of hard to believe. I don't, you know what I mean? But I wanted to get a feel for it. And I knew that. I was like, I have to ask Sonny this kind of stuff because I know he knows it better than I would. So
I could see that. I don't know. I haven't read anything like that personally. But then again, there's a lot of these South American, European players that probably feel that way.
That's true, right?
So,
he's young though, right?
He's
like what, 23 or something like that?
Yeah, he's like 22. Yeah. He's a young kid, so he's definitely got options. He's got talent. I will say though, like he was one of the most frustrating players to watch when we had him on our squad because he'd show moments of brilliance, but then a lot of moments where like it couldn't click for him. You know, like he was trying to go too fast. And if his argument is, oh, it's because I'm too fast for them, I was like, nah, it's not about your physical abilities, man. It's like, how can you put it all together? Again, when I say heady players mentally, you know, a player like Moon that understands the rhythms and the pace of the game and maximizes their skill set to kind of take advantage of that.
I think that's a big part of it. When it comes to getting international players, is that like I think people will dismiss these players right away if they don't produce in the MLS, and it's like, well, you got to understand, like like you said, it's a different pace, and if anything, they need to slow down more than speed up because of the fact that they come from a different country, different leagues, and they play differently, and it all takes a couple of weeks, and they get to it. So I was just always curious about Brian Rodriguez because it seems like he was like a bit of a hopeful for the squad there. Then I'm seeing like this whole like kind of a weird relationship where I think it was someone quoted that like he came to training and Bob Bradley's like, yeah, I saw him, but we haven't spoken yet or something like that. And I was like, oh.
I mean, Bob Bradley seems like an asshole too, though. So I don't know, man. Like it's hard to read, you know, between the lines and these things. But at the end of the day, it's just like the squad just needs to stay healthy. I like what I see. They have another game coming up against Vancouver.
Oh, that's right.
Bottom of the bracket.
Are they coming near the bank? Yeah, right. Because I think
at the bank.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Because I think LA Galaxy's playing Real Salt Lake where they played Vancouver because that's where they're playing in Utah right now. But yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So speaking of Vancouver.
Yeah. Speaking of Vancouver,
it looks like we're catching them on a bit of a high.
Jeez, that game, man. So, you know, real quick, Galaxy, they scored real fast in the 5th minute. Shout out to Ryan Ravasalon. Viva la Ravasalon is what they're saying right now. You know, new signing just came in, and I think first 2 starts, he got a goal in each start, and it was kind of like, oh, okay, this guy is fitting in perfectly, which is what MLS fans want. They want the dude that just got signed, go and produce. But again, like you score early in the 5th minute. Now, if you don't do anything in that half, you're now in that whole 1-0 trap lead. And that's what happened. And then Vancouver came back and scored twice. But really, it was after the first goal in the 48th minute where you could see the Galaxy just fell apart. Like they just were in a lull for the rest of the game. And it just was really weird to see that, given how strong they looked the whole game. And then all of a sudden it flipped. And it's like the goal gave Vancouver the life that they wanted to play. And of course, I think it was also like, Vancouver, when you have nothing to play for, you're at the bottom of the table, just play loose. I mean, at this point, what are you really, you know what I mean? What are you nervous about? And I think they really showed it, and the Galaxy just did not hold it down at all.
I feel like Galaxy knows exactly what that mindset's like, though. How did they fall? They know exactly what it's like to play for nothing, you know? Like, how did they get caught by that?
Hey, man, the Galaxy, they have to produce right now, and then, you know, it's just one of those things where they got to hold it down without their superstars. And it's just kind of weird because it's just like, man, like against the last place team, you have no superstars. You should be able to, you know, take the win, man. So
yeah, I think Alex's text in the group was no chicha, no problem, right? That's what
Is that what Alex said? Oh man. Yeah, we've been eating our words for sure. Like it's really, really bad. And yeah, it's just kind of a weird loss. It's there's no real excuse for it. You know, you lost to a team that was at the bottom. They were really demoralized pretty much after that first goal from the Galaxy, and then you kind of let them back in once they made their goal. It wasn't even like, oh, the equalizer, and we're probably going to end on a draw, and Vancouver's going to feel like a win. No, like they really just took over, won it, and Galaxy were never anything, even after that first goal. It was just flat. And then nothing the subs could do. You subbed in a bunch of people, and it didn't do anything. There wasn't enough time. Vancouver started killing time like around the 80th minute just to kind of like get the win and get out. And yeah, it was just really terrible for the Galaxy. And hopefully they get to bounce back against RSL on Wednesday because, you know, RSL did lose to the LAFC. So it's hopefully they kind of carry that losing momentum and the Galaxy can take over.
Yeah, I mean, on the flip side, I hope LAFC kind of perks up and learns their lesson from their neighbors to the down south over there in Carson.
But yeah, it was bad.
About, put some respect on some of these MLS teams that have nothing to play for,
dude.
man. Like,
yeah, it was bad, and
it's
just there's really no excuse for the Galaxy to have lost that, man. You gave up that game so bad, and it was just bad. Oh.
So what's up with Chicharito? He still has the hamstring injury, or is it?
He got hurt.
Or is it the deadbeat dad issues? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it was a calf issue. Yeah, that's right. At training too, like during the warm-ups. So Alex gives me the tickets to go to the Galaxy game for the 4th of July. And we're excited to go because Chicha and 4th of July. And then we get to the game starts, and then we don't see him on the field. And we're thinking, oh, maybe he's coming in as a sub. And then I find out through my phone that he was a late scratch during warm-ups because of a calf issue. And they decided to pull him. And then that was that. And we haven't heard from him since. I think it's like a game-to-game thing where he might come in. Hopefully he comes back Wednesday. Because, yeah, definitely, even though he's not like a playmaker type, there's just something about his presence that helps the team play a lot better. Just something about him being on the field just makes the team better. But it was just really sad to see like how the team performed so badly against a last place team without their superstar when they didn't need to have it. You know what I mean?
But it speaks to, like I've said before, it speaks to when a team gets used to playing through certain players, how it's hard to just replace that and say, yeah, on paper, we still have enough talent to beat this other team, but we've gotten used to this system. And it's hard for them to put it together like that.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, definitely that finishing touch just does not, nobody else really has it. And I think, like you said, it's just, they're not used to it. They're not used to being the one that has to take the shot for the goal. Like, so they all try to pass it off. And then before you know it, defense takes it, they clear it. And then now you have to figure out what to do again. But yeah, hopefully they bounce back on Wednesday. I haven't seen the standings yet. Let me look at it real quick.
I think Galaxy are in 3rd place. LAFC, I think, is in 5th place.
Oh, okay.
I think there's 3 points separating the two.
Yeah, Galaxy in 3rd, and LAFC in 5th. You're correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just Seattle's 1st and Sporting Kansas City's 2nd.
Well, I hope Chicharito gets healthy real soon because I just made my purchase for the MLS versus Liga MX.
Oh, did you? You're going to the All-Star game. Yeah. No.
Yeah, which will be at the bank. And I remember Alex and I were texting and I don't know if he ended up buying tickets. We'll see. I'm interested. The one time he'll be allowed to wear the Galaxy jersey at the bank.
Yeah, I think we're going to the skills challenge. And it's gonna.
He wants to go to that. I was like, who wants to go to that, man?
Oh man, but it was one of those things where it's like I just thought of that right now that you said that. I was like, I could go to the skills challenge and wear my Galaxy jersey, and it won't feel like I won't feel threatened or anything. Or
it makes sense. Exactly. You'll be all right. It won't be on site.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're wearing like a Liga MX thing. I don't know. Are you gonna get a Galaxy All-Star jersy? I mean, a Galaxy MLS All-Star jersey.
A Galaxy one? No, those things are ugly, man. I didn't care for them. I did like the Alex. Speaking of Alex, shout out to Alex. We miss you on the pod.
Yeah, man. He's on vacay, dude.
Yeah, he did. On a much deserved vacation right now. He did message me though with the jersey drops, and I saw Liga MX's All-Star jersey, and I was like, "Now that one's clean."
You gonna get that one?
So if I were to get a jersey, it'd be that one. But we'll see, man. I'm just looking forward to it. I mean, hopefully with all the things that are going on with COVID again, COVID's rearing its ugly head again.
It feels weird. Some weird PTSD happening right now.
I hope the game still happens. Man.
Like seeing like things get canceled and stuff and postponed. I think baseball games got postponed. I'm like, wait, what's happening here?
Hey, so check this out. So the All-Star game's on August 25th, which is a Wednesday, right? The Trafico, which is the next one's going to be at the bank, is on August 28th, Saturday. What I did not realize until I was at the game against RSL last night is that, as I mentioned, I don't know if Alex and I mentioned it here on the podcast, but I mentioned it somewhere. I am going to attend Los Bukis, the show
at
SoFi. And that's on Saturday. And it never occurred to me when I bought the tickets for Saturday that I'm sitting on the Trafico tickets as well on the same day.
Oh, shoot.
So yeah, I have a little bit of a dilemma. There's no way I'm missing those Bukis. Let me just clear that up
I think the audience was trying to figure out, wait, what is he gonna really go for now?
No, it's not a playoff game. I didn't even think twice about it. The dilemma I have now though is what do I do with those tickets? Do I sell them? Do I? A part of me instantly, I thought of you and Alex, and I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't give these 2 seats up to 2 Galaxy fans. I was like, my whole section would fucking hate me for the rest of the season especially if you'd probably be cool, you'd keep your cool, but especially if I let Alex walk through there. They'd never forgive me for that shit. So as much as I'd love to hook my boys up, I don't know if I could do it for that game.
Yeah. Oh man, that would have been a good one to watch.
You can blame him. I might. If you want to tell your missus, maybe I can, just keep it neutral with the colors.
Yeah, right. Oh man, that'd be crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let me know whatever you decide.
That's a dilemma
I know you got some time.
I'm gonna have to face.
You got some time, so let me know what you decide on doing. But yeah, that would have been cool to catch. Even though I am excited to see the skill challenge, mainly because I do want to visit the bank. And I kind of was like, well, I guess this is going to be the first opportunity that comes up. But yeah, of course, in El Trafico would have been super dope. You know what I mean? Just to see like the whole, especially because it's going to be the full capacity one, man. The one we went to was during the shutdown stuff, so it was kind of like limited and whatnot. But yeah, it would have been cool to see like a full capacity one. But yeah, keep me posted on those then.
Well, yeah, you and I will talk. Alex, cover your ears.
But yeah, man.
No, but okay, cool, man. So let's talk real quickly because I feel like there's a part of me that has pride right now because I'm this close to calling my shot, and that is in the land of the NBA, where it looked like the Bucks were dead in the water. It looked like the Suns were riding this wave of momentum. Mm-hmm. They went on to dispose of the Clippers, as we talked about with Clipper Pablo. They went on to win the first 2 games kind of handedly against the Bucks. Yeah. And flash forward about a week and a half, and here we are. The Suns are on the brink of elimination. Yep. The Bucks are a game away. They have 2 shots at it, but they're a game away from wrapping up this series, man. What have you thought of these finals thus far? Are you surprised? What's going on?
I am surprised because I really thought the Suns were going to win it yesterday because they were up by 16. So that's why even I sent on the group text like, yo, like whoever wins this game is going to win the series. Like it just feels like it. Like it's no. And I was really thinking like the Suns are going to win it and then they're going to go to Milwaukee and close it out. But seeing Milwaukee had that resilience that it had defensively of stopping. I mean, again, I think even in the last game, Game 4, even Game 4 when they tied it, Drew Holiday, I felt figured out the whole Chris Paul situation, like how to just contain that dude. And since then, I think it's been working. And even though, the concern with Holiday has been the foul trouble stuff, because, that's just the nature of defending somebody as good as Chris Paul. The fact of the matter is he figured it out. He figured out how to take care of the guards. And then him and Booker, have been kind of limited. I know Booker had I think Game 4 was the one where he had really bad, I think only like 12 points or something like that, or 10 points. And that's when you realize shoot, okay, so this is where Drew Holiday shines. I mean, he's not the best offensive dude, but he could definitely kind of shut down your guards if needed. Especially once he feels them out, which it feels like he did. Because last game, I think a big part of it was Drew Holiday kind of, figuring out that whole backcourt and just, defensively at least. And then, the Bucks just kind of, sprung back. I think this is great for Giannis. I'm really happy for him, especially through all the stuff that he's been through with the whole, kind of, getting the MVPs and then never getting this far and then finally being here. And I think if he takes it, man, I'll be really happy for him. I'll be really, really happy for him because we've always believed he was going to be that dude. And it seems like it's showing it. Like that play where Holiday strips the ball from Booker. And then the alley-oop was just like, man, if they win it, I said on Twitter, if the Bucks win this Game 6, it'll be because of this moment right here.
No, to me, it was go back a game. It was the alley-oop that they try to throw.
Oh, that was the other one too, right? To Aiden. Yeah.
That Giannis just straight up Dikembe Mutombo, dude. unreal the way that he got up there, behind the play, really, as it was happening in real time, and he still recovered to kind of block it. Yeah, sure, Aiden didn't have a clean catch of it, but he was right over the basket. Like that was going to be, put an easy.
Yeah, you needed someone tall enough to block that, and that's Giannis. And it was and also in that play, Giannis was facing. I think it was Chris Paul that threw it up, and the fact
that's what I mean. He was behind the play. Like he had to recover. Yeah,
the recovery plus the block was like insane. Like crazy to think that he thought of that like so fast. I was like, what the heck? And then I kept watching that replay, and I was like, damn, like Giannis is just such an instinctual thing.
That to me was his signature moment. Yeah.
I think that one and the other one are gonna be like the $100,000 NFTs for Top Shop for sure.
NFTs. Here we go. Exactly.
I'm always looking at these plays like values. That one's like worth $100.
Oh my God. So it's going to be curious to see how the Suns respond. My guess is the Bucks wrap it up in 6.
That's what I think too, man. I just felt this game 5, whoever was going to win it was going to win the series. It just felt like it to me. Like either the Suns were going to win it, and then the Bucks would be going home kind of demoralized that this might be it for them. But then the Bucks winning it was like, oh shoot, they could take it at home. Imagine, like, again, not trying to say like I'm super over, like I want the Bucks to like just like kind of win all the way. I mean, I do want to see a good basketball game overall, but just from the Bucks standpoint, I think it would be nice being at home and getting like such a comfortable lead that like you start subbing out all the starters and they get the standing ovation and stuff when
oh, you mean you want them to celebrate like the Celtics did when they beat us in the finals?
Yeah, just like
that 1 year, man, when that thing was over in the beginning of the third quarter, and it was just a party from the third quarter and on for Boston.
Yeah, man, I think that Milwaukee deserves it for everything that they went through in terms of all the criticism they endured. From it being like, oh, like Giannis and Middleton and Drew Holiday and whatnot didn't come through or whatever, or all these picks they gave up for Drew Holiday and all that, and them kind of sticking it to the media and stuff. So
I agree this will be huge for Giannis. This will solidify him as obviously top 2 in the game, if not top 1. I know it's recency bias because that's just how we do here,
of course,
but he just stamps it where you can no longer dismiss him, right? You can't be like, yeah, that guy needs another. We said he was missing one Robin, right? Because Chris Middleton was inconsistent.
Yeah, that's true.
And to Chris Middleton's credit, this playoffs, he's been much more consistent. But I think, like I said at the beginning, I felt like Drew Holiday was that glue guy that they were missing.
Yeah, and I felt like, to me, Drew Holiday is the type of dude that needs like a good 3 games to figure out, okay, this is how I'm going to guard these guys. And it was going to happen. I think it was only a matter of time. The only thing that the Suns could have done is just make their shots. But it felt like that last game, Cameron Payne.
They were wetting it.
Like all them dudes were there, and it just didn't even matter to the Bucks. It was just like.
We'll see, though. We'll see. Because as much as I do think it's going to be over in 6, I would love to see a game 7, man.
Like, I think deep down inside, I would love to see that too. But at the same time, I also want to wrap it up like in 6, just to kind of like crown it. I want us to get to our NBA special that we've been plotting.
Let's have our upcoming NBA special. Exactly. We got a special guest lined up for all of y'all. Y'all don't even know.
It's for the NBA nerds in us. So it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to our guests. I'm looking forward to the conversation. But man, I again. We'll see how it goes. Game 6 on Tuesday.
Stay tuned for that. I'm looking forward to it too. Also because I'd like to put the NBA season behind us so that we can finally focus and give the attention to baseball.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And because there's some things we got to address that have been happening. Everything from the All-Star game that was crazy. But real quick, before we even get there, to send off the episode here. What were your thoughts on Space Jam?
That's right. We did. Let's talk about it. You know what? At first, in the beginning, that first scene where LeBron comes up and he's like telling his kids, like, what are you doing? That's not like how your game's not in it or whatever. Felt like kind of like, man, LeBron, like, don't look so stiff. You know what I mean? Like, you look kind of stiff acting. And I don't know. I mean, he did such a good job in Trainwreck, the Amy Schumer movie, that I was like, oh, okay, that's the kind of LeBron I was expecting. But he starts off pretty stiff and whatnot, and it kind of one of those things where, like, I think you just got to get used to the fact that he's gonna be this character for the rest of the movie, and then he's pretty much that. And then about like halfway through it, when all the product, I don't want to say product placement, but basically all the IP.
No, you're right. Product placement
all the
was
IP
right.
that was in Warner Brothers,
Yeah,
was being thrown out there. You're already getting used to this is the kind of movie that it is. The story's just kind of like similar to Mortal Kombat. It's the story's just like something happens, but it doesn't really matter because that's what you're here for to watch. You're here to watch these characters, and you're here to see LeBron play basketball. But overall, I thought that at the end of it all, like I guess it's a pretty fun movie for the kids. I mean, I think if you're a kid, I think that this is just what it is for kids now. They love video games. And they love, I would think they love LeBron James. I don't know. But I know a lot of these kids grew up on Curry and all these other.
I mean, Steph Curry's their guy.
Maybe Trae Young, you could say, right now. But it just felt like, for the most part, this is LeBron. I would have loved a real Michael Jordan cameo. That probably would have made me feel like some points added if there was a real Michael Jordan cameo, not what we got. But
I did appreciate the joke, but I seen that joke coming a mile away. I remember I was watching it with my wife, and I was like, "It's Michael B. Jordan. It's Michael B. Jordan."
I do like the line though, where it said, "Wait, we can't get Michael A. Jordan." That was clever. I will give him that one. That was a good punchline there for that.
Hey, look, acting is tough. I'm sure acting is hard, man. I'm not gonna pretend to be an actor. It's like shout out to all the real great ones, and the good ones are the ones that are still trying to figure it out. And that's their passion. But I think there's a reason why we saw a shit ton of Don Cheadle in this movie. Because he had to carry this movie a lot, man. And shout out to the kid who played LeBron's kid, because I thought he was solid.
Yeah, he was good.
But yeah,
you don't let me be
credit,
me, Dad.
LeBron's my guy, but stiff was the right way to describe that dude. Like, there were but two moments that I felt like that feels like real LeBron. Like that felt like it, whether it was him acting or not, like it felt like authentic. The rest of it was like, yo,
what were the two moments?
Like, shout out to my boy Big, who I took to the LAFC game with me. Him and I, sure enough, were talking about the movie, and he said he feels like LeBron was the opposite of Jordan. Because we grew up with the OG Space Jam, right? Jordan is not charismatic these are his words. Jordan is not charismatic by nature, right? Like if you want him to riff, Jordan doesn't do that, right? He's not good at it. Whereas LeBron is, right? You give him a hot mic and LeBron just has to speak. I mean, the Kobe memorial, him speaking off the top of the dome, it felt like, okay, he's kind of good at putting these thoughts together, even if it is a little rough around the edges sometimes. Jordan is the opposite. If you give Jordan lines to read, though, I feel like Jordan does something with them.
Yeah.
You give LeBron lines to read, and it's stiff as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, LeBron, it feels like the dude's reading or trying to act.
Yeah. That's what I felt.
At least with the Jordan part, it was like he just had to be Mike.
Yeah, exactly, right? And you know what I appreciated? That in the first one, you added like Bill Murray. There was like a lot more. I mean, I guess it is pop culture in both of them, but the thing is, the second one definitely over the top with the Matrix reference and everything else, the DC Universe stuff. But I just felt like, man, like I kind of like that the first one had like real funny actors on there, and this one was just like you said, mainly Don Cheadle.
I mean, even Charles Barkley was funny in that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Even though he had a couple lines, but still, like, Muggsy Bogues was funny. Like all those. So I mean. The AD line came off as mean to me, when LeBron said it to the Goon Squad version of AD. It's like if he said it to the real AD, that would have been funny.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, where it felt like I think they got like a small cameo in real person in the whole like, when I digitized them thing. And then that was it. I was expecting to see them, the actual players like Clay and them, like actually do more. And I was kind of disappointed that they didn't, that they just kind of used that whole 3D kind of animated rendering of them where they're all in their superpowers.
I'm curious to see what the director's cut is. I don't want to see it, but I'm curious to know about the director's cut.
Yeah.
If there's a version out there that had maybe more liners for Dame, because Dame Lillard's a charismatic dude.
Yeah, he raps, man. Like, he's a rapper too. So it's just like, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's like, I would have loved to see more Dame in this movie, it could have done without Klay Thompson. I don't know why they got that dude. That dude's the least charismatic player ever.
He's kind of there.
The most swaggerless player in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, for real, dude.
It's
just that.
I guess the thinking was if you put him next to LeBron, he automatically will make LeBron look.
Yeah, he's part of the Warriors,
doper.
So yeah.
So who knows? But they didn't have enough of him in the movie either. And Diana Taurasi, same thing.
Exactly.
So, all in all, it was like, what did I rate Mortal Kombat? 2 out of 10.
I think
maybe?
So. Yeah.
I think Space Jam is like 2.5 or 3 out of 10.
Oh, man.
But those are my thoughts. Like you said, it wasn't made for us. It was made for the new generation of kids. So I'd be curious to like ask my nephew, because he's a big hoops head and he's a big Steph Curry fan. And this was definitely his demographic. I'd be curious to ask him, like, yo, what'd you think, man?
Yeah.
What'd you think, little man? Did you like the movie? Did you love it?
Yeah.
See what he says.
The other comparison I'm curious about to ask you is the beginning, because they both Space Jam start off with Michael Jordan as a kid, and then goes through his career highlights in the opening credits, and he does the exact same thing on LeBron. What did you think of all that?
I remember the whole time when I was watching it, I was like, are they going to use the "I'm going to take my talents to South Beach" clip? The whole time I was watching it, and sure enough, when they did, I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I do appreciate that at least they, even though these are the critiques of LeBron, like it's almost like he just leaned into it and was like, yeah, this is just whatever.
Exactly.
This is what this is what I did.
Exactly. That part they had me in. I was like, okay, there's some honesty, there's some integrity.
Yeah, exactly. Integrity. There you go. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I did do that. I wish the opening song was better, because the first movie had such a dope opening song.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, R. Kelly's problematic, but the song, the original Space Jam had like an iconic soundtrack,
Come on and
right?
slam,
song
and
least.
Welcome to the jam.
Exactly. Like the soundtrack.
It was like a jock jam.
Legit.
It was like a song that you could tell would be played in a stadium. So,
right. Where like I couldn't remember a single tune off.
Yeah, me neither, dude. I completely forgot. I just know that it was a lot more mellow. It felt like I think it had John Legend in it, so it's kind of like it was just trying to go for more like emotional feeling. And I just feel like, no, it should feel like a hype video. You know what I mean? This is the hype video of LeBron's career. So
yeah, like either lean in all the way, like give me a Kendrick track or something. J. Cole. Yeah. J. Cole should be on this
for real, dude.
Like,
shout out to Murs, dude. He's the one that wrote Piggy's freestyle in that scene.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Dope. Shout out.
He wrote that. He said that was his first kind of his first taste of Hollywood, man. They hit him up to ghostwrite that, and he's the one that did Porky Pig's whole verse in that battle scene.
Nice. You see, but in that scene, I was waiting for Dame time to hit him back.
That's what I thought too. It was kind of a weird moment,
It was like, come on, but so mixed bag. Like I said, go watch it yourself if you have 2 hours that you really don't care. How you
watch it with some kids, because I think it'll probably make you feel better about it.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, but all right, man. Well, I'll report back with my nephews, with my godson's take. Maybe
for sure,
I got
dude.
it all wrong.
Yeah, I watched it on my own, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, it was all right. I mean, I kind of felt like, maybe this is just for the kids, and I shouldn't be too harsh. But I felt like for me, it was kind of like, similar to you. I felt like I wish I ever got my time back, but it is what it is,
But on that note, it's time to go. We're 15 minutes late behind right now.
That's
speaking of football and watching Mexico and El Salvador. Is there a friendly bet going on here? Don't even check the score, because I want to make some money here.
All right, jeez. All right. Well, I haven't gotten a report that there's been a score yet. So yeah, I don't know. What do you want to put down?
All right, $10.
All right. I'll take it.
May the best team win. There you go. It's official. You heard it here first on the West Box Score. Unless you're the Popo or FBI, you do your shit.
For sure. But that's it for us, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Check out. We're gonna come up with the NBA special, so check for that. And till then, later.
Peace.